show. I'm your host, Cosmo, the Cosmic Connector, and this is your Cosmic Connection for February 1st, 2014, the Cosmic Connection TV UFO YouTube series number 3. Hello, everybody. It's a beautiful day here in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's a little windy, a little chilly, but blue skies, just gorgeous outside, and we like to thank you for watching the programs. I've noticed that we put up a 52-minute show 2 weeks ago on our YouTube channel, and you people are taking to it pretty good. We have about 132 hits. You've watched this 52 minutes that I did, and the 15-minute ones hit about 300 some odd hits, and we're real happy with that, so thank you so much. The UFO television show, The Cosmic Connection, has been on broadcasting. I've been broadcasting UFO information to the mass media in the world through various sorts of media since 1989. Started out with the Billy Goodman Happening. And then we did The Cosmic Connection in Portland, Oregon for about 10 to 12 years on Multnomah Community Television. It was a blast, a lot of fun up there. And then we did 5 years in Reno, Nevada. Sent some broadcasts to the UFO television network in Maryland, Virginia. They broadcast in Maryland, Virginia, Washington, D.C. I'd like to start off the show with some more Files. Number 4 issue has come out for January 26, 2014. This is a newsletter that you can get, anyone can get, if you just subscribe to George Filer or visit his website every Friday or Thursday, and that's the nationalufocenter.com. The Filer Research Institute feels the scientific study of UFOs is for the benefit of humankind and is an important endeavor. The weekly Intelligent Report provides you with information on the latest sightings and UFO news that you need to understand the world's situation. One of these reports on Filer's Files, number 4, states UFO flap, a report from Peter Davenport to the Filer's Files text that you get in your emails or online from George Filer, his website. Peter Davenport, director, reports, over the course of the last 2 weeks, our center has been inundated with an abnormally large volume of sighting reports submitted from around the world. We have received approximately 650 to 700 reports during that time period, which we have posted to our website as of January 10th, 2014. To put this volume of reports in better perspective, 2 years ago, we considered a normal volume of reports to be between 250 and 500 per month. Hence, nuforc has been receiving reports at approximately 3 to 4 times what we used to consider normal. What this translates to is that our workload of getting all the reports proofread and posted amounts to 3 to 4 times what it used to be, which explains why it is taking us a bit longer to get all of the news reports up on our website. MUFON is also receiving a large number of reports, up to 23% more than last year. From the George A. Filer Weekly Intelligent Report on UFOs, we have Nevada lights. Indian Springs, driving north on Route 95 in early January, the witness noticed high-speed lights moving parallel along the mountain ranges. These lights moved 4 or 5 times faster than jet aircraft. These may be some type of advanced experimental craft from Nellis Test Range. We also have a report from Nevada for Rachel, Nevada, right outside of Area 51. Frank J. Jorge writes, the clips are from the video footage shot by me in August 1997. I shot some chemtrails all that day and 16 missile-looking objects that were never identified. The object was emitting intense light and spinning very fast. It flew down through the clouds, hovered for about 10 minutes before flying back into the clouds. I do have the video of these objects shot by my girlfriend, and I was with it was with 2 camcorders. And we'd like to thank Frank J. Corey for that report. New Jersey orbs change into craft. East Rutherford, New Jersey. Statement says individual was driving on Route 3 west approaching Giant Stadium about 10 a.m. on January 6, 2014 when they saw something odd in the sky. They got their phone ready, took a blind photo towards the object through the windshield of the car. I saw a big military-type helicopter through my skylight and assumed this was the object I must have seen. Looking through my photos today, I came to that photo, and I am at a loss to explain what is on the image. I'm sure I captured the object through the window. Newark Airport. This photograph was taken in between the United hangars, and it was forwarded to the individual on January 16th, 2014. States he can't tell what these are since they have strange V-shape. The mechanic who sent it was amazed by it. Salem, I first noticed this white round object that looked like a giant orb silently hovering on December 22nd, 2013. After 10 minutes, the object changed direction and shape. It literally changed shape from an orb into a weird-looking triangular aircraft right over top of where cattle are raised on a farm close to my house. And days leading up to this event, the cattle had been making the worst noises I've ever heard any cattle ever make. My father was also a witness to this event. Wonder if there was any cattle mutilations after that. This report submitted by Linda Moulton Howe. Bull and cow mutilations northwest of Corpus Christi, Texas. January 15th, 2005, Sandia, Texas. I have investigated the phenomenon of animal mutilation since 1979, and before he died, United States Army Lieutenant Colonel Philip J. Corsell told me that he had seen with his own eyes during his work for the Eisenhower and Kennedy administrations highly classified documents about unusual and bloodless animal deaths around the world dated as early as 1951. That would be only 4 years after the Roswell, New Mexico headlines about an unidentified flying disc that had crashed near Corona. In the early 1990s, documents were leaked about a small group called Majestic 12, allegedly appointed by President Harry S. Truman to study the interplanetary mystery. At that 1947 Corona, New Mexico UFO crash site, bodies were allegedly found, dissected as you would a frog, but the documents do not make clear if the dissected bodies were animals, humans, or non-humans. We have a New York implant. This is also reported from Filer's Files, number 4. New York City. The witness states, I did a signed and notarized affidavit from my dentist stating his description of this thing and that in 26 years of practice, he's never seen anything like it. It has been there since at least 2003, and to date, at least 6 dentists and 1 radiologist have looked at this and have no idea what it is. I have no memory of receiving this, nor was it a necessary procedure, as I have excellent teeth, dental health. The witness is a psychic medium and has had several unusual experiences best categorized as paranormal. She had been having problems chewing and visited a dentist because of her discomfort. Dental x-rays were taken revealing an unusual object at the top of her teeth. The dentist had no explanation for these anomalies. Iran says U.S. is working with aliens. Very good. According to Fars news agency, the English language news service of Iran claims Edward Snowden has provided the Russians incontrovertible proof that an alien extraterrestrial intelligence agenda is driving U.S. domestic and international policy. Documents leased by NSA whistleblower Edward Snowden conclusively prove that the United States has been ruled by a race of tall, white space aliens who also assisted the rise of Nazi Germany in the 1930s. Sightings in the United States. Alaska TV lights. Nome. On the Bering Sea Gold TV show episode 31. Person recorded it on December 12, 2014. Well, it'd have to be December 12, 2013, of strange lights. This is some kind of huge craft above city lights on the land as a point of reference. Is there any way you can let me know if you were already aware of this? This absolutely floored me. Arizona dark objects. This is a good one. Out of Surprise, Arizona. I was going to pick up dinner at a pizza place on Reams on January 24th, 2014, and saw two stationary dark objects northeast. Three more objects appeared, and I first thought these might be the F-35s heading to Luke Air Force Base in Glendale. I decided to head northeast and notice there were two high objects and one above the mountaintop. I took some pictures and a video when I parked at the Surprise City Hall. One object was quite low to the ground. When I left at 5:45 p.m., the objects were gone. Another report from Prescott. On Sunday, January 19th, 2014 at 8:15 p.m., nuforc received two reports from seemingly independent sources about a peculiar bright white light that streaks across the sky, slows to a dead stop, and then suddenly accelerates very quickly and disappears over the horizon. The second witness reports that bizarre metallic clanging sounds emanated from his radio during the time the object was above him. Again, thanks to Peter Davenport. We have report sightings of the United States, California, Colorado, Florida, Illinois. We have a Kentucky flap. McDowell, individual, have had an encounter that I have no answers for, and still they keep flying around like it's a UFO meeting place. I have quit writing times and dates and details down, watching your so-called investigators bring out equipment to test and analyze it for TV, and that's it. These things follow me, and they're everywhere, and nobody is looking up. I had a family photo made at Myrtle Beach, and the guy that we hired to take the photos stopped in his tracks, looked up and over us and said, "I swear I just saw something in the sky." In two photos, there's a light out over the ocean that I purchased. I keep a gun on my bed now because all of the stuff that's went down. I still haven't heard a thing from anyone connected to you guys. Snip, thanks, MUFON CMS. We have UFO reports from Louisiana, Michigan. We have another report from Nevada. A blue strobe light and disc. The witness was walking to check mail after getting off work in the early morning and saw a light hovering over the Red Rock area on January 17th, 2014 at 2:29 a.m. Individual has no idea what the bright bluish light with the small strobe was. It made no noise and flew down, then straight up, and could no longer see it after 3 minutes. That again report is from Peter Davenport. Las Vegas, Nevada. The witness was home smoking when he noticed a star trying to hide in the clouds on January 28, 2014 at 6 a.m. It was going in and out, glowing, shrinking, when he noticed the disk flying on the horizon. Since he was already filming, he turned to stop, then going back and forth and descending like it was going to land. Since he was already filming, he turned to the dark disk. There was a star and a lot of stuff flying in and out of the clouds on the horizon, stopping, then going back and forth and descending like it was going to land. It dropped below the buildings, obstructed my view. P.S. The video files are too large and I have to edit them. We have a New Jersey triangle. Monroe Township. We also have another sighting from Salem, New Jersey. We have a New York triangle. Pennsylvania sightings are up. South Carolina rectangle. A Texas bullet and lights. San Antonio's had a sighting. Sweeney, Texas has had a sighting. And for your worldwide sighting reports, Argentina, alien craft landing. Now, this is a pretty good story. Dr. Botta, a 40-year-old man in 1950, was well educated and respected by all who knew him. He was an ex-war pilot and aeronautical engineer. He was employed as an architectural engineer working with a well-known company in Caracas. Botta was driving down the highway about 75 miles from his hotel in an isolated area known as Baja Blanca when he saw a metallic disc-shaped object sitting on the grass just off the roadway. He stopped his car to watch the object for a few minutes, but there was no movement, so he walked closer to the disc. This vantage point allowed him to see an opening or doorway in the object's side. He decided to go inside. At first seemed empty, except for a blinking red light in a domed top. As he ventured farther inside, he saw a curved divan with 4 seats. 3 of these seats were occupied with small beings about 4 feet tall with gray, tight-fitting overalls. The 3 small creatures were facing a control panel. It consisted of lights, gauges, and meters of different types. Standing quietly behind them, Botta could not resist the urge to touch one of the small beings. As he did, he felt a rigid, charred texture. The 3 strange creatures were dead. He rushed from the saucer, got into his car, and was speeding down the highway. Arriving at his hotel, he related his strange experience to 2 of his closest friends. The group of men armed themselves and decided to return to the scene of Botta's encounter the next morning to do their search. Earlier the next day, Botta led the 3 directly to the spot of the previous day's unusual encounter. But there was no craft there now. All that was found at the site the object had occupied was a pile of ashes. One of the men scooped some up. Immediately, his hands turned purple and remained that way for several days. The 3 men, discouraged by the absence of the object, began to look around the area to see if any other evidence of its landing could be found. One of the men looked up and saw 3 small objects in the sky. One, the largest of the 3, was cigar-shaped, while the 2 smaller objects were disc-shaped. Dr. Botta took 5 pictures of the objects, of which only 2 showed vague images of the objects. Soon the smaller 2 objects joined the cigar-shaped flying object. The 3 became one, turned blood red, and quickly disappeared from view. We have red orbs sighted in Australia, UFO sightings in Canada. We have a Mexico jellyfish, nothing spectacular about that. New Zealand orange light, Wellington. But we have a United Kingdom black rectangular object, Dartmouth. The photo was taken at Dartmouth Regatta Air Display on August 30th, 2013 in Devon, UK. Shelbourne, St. John. I was out in the fields walking the dogs on January 19th, 2014 and came into an open space on a hilltop with a good view of surrounding area and saw a hovering black rectangular object. It was silent and stayed there for a while and then started moving, changing direction roughly northwest to west. It wasn't until I slipped and looked down, looked back up, and the object was nowhere to be seen. Again, from the MUFON CMS. Now we've got video. All right, now we have 2 videos getting mass attention on YouTube. This is the mothership of all motherships. Look at this puppy. UFO mothership over Brazil dropping spheres. Posted by National UFO Center, January 26, 2014. Date of sighting, January 24th, 2014. Location of sighting, Brazil. I've seen this a couple of times, ladies and gentlemen. It seems to show a luminous mothership-type object releasing multiple spheres or drones over Brazil. The video was posted on YouTube by JMHZ71. Remarkably, images captured by skywatchers in Brazil of a UFO in the night sky. The video recording shows a bright ball of light dropping spheres. UFO throws the spheres at 2 minutes in the video. This beautiful UFO was seen over Brazil this week, shows a circular craft surrounded by glowing orb lights. Toward the end of this almost 6-minute video, you see the orbs descend downward, and as 3 of them do, they change formation. Yeah, look at that. That's pretty good stuff there. Amazing. And look how clear some of that is. Now, it's been stated that it could be balloons that are lit on fire, and then as the string burns holding the balloons together, they're falling one after another. You see the 3 spheres that drop in unison sort of fall together, don't separate that much, but it looks like one of them goes out, or combines with the other one, like I've seen at Area 51. I've seen that phenomenon of three craft becoming one. It's an amazing event when you're standing there looking at this stuff out at Area 51. But this is in Brazil, and this is the mothership over Brazil dropping spheres. And the date of that sighting was January 24th, 2014. Now we got another holy smokes. We have a Japan mass sighting, Okinawa. At around 9 p.m. on the 23rd, orange lights, about 10 of them, had been seen floating around in the Naha sky. Multiple reports of sightings were received at this newspaper. Experts said that the lights were not considered to astronomical phenomenon. According to one witness, most of the lights appeared in the sky near Naha Port in the town of Naha Tondo. They repeatedly moved up and down, left and right. About 15 minutes later, they were all gone. According to Japan Air Self-Defense Force, they don't have any information on the mystery lights. Self-Defense Force's aircraft did not fly at that time. All training flights took place before 1920 hours the same day. This report you can find www.okinawatimes.com. All right, so in connection with the Japan Okinawa sighting, I found this little ditty. I remember seeing this, and when I saw this Japan video, Okinawa video, it reminded me of the San Diego Lights on January 1st, 2008 at 12:30 a.m. I remember the night that this happened. Claremont, California, January 16th, 2008. A strange group of lights witnessed and filmed by Claremont, North San Diego college students were celebrating the new year, told of a string of 9 lights moving in formation east to west over San Diego, California at 12:30 a.m. Nate Cole, a local college student, stated that he and fellow students witnessed a formation move in and arc at a uniform rate at speed. Each craft had its own illumination of an amber color, no sound, no blinking, and much too bright for it to have been an airplane or stars, as the objects were at 5,000 feet plus and were in constant motion. All 9 craft moved out of eyesight at a fast, steady rate of speed, disappearing into the distant night sky, not over the horizon, but up. It seems that the alien border crossing restrictions do not apply to the UFO fleets viewed dozens of times over the past decade over Mexico City and southern Mexico regions. Investigative reporter Jaime Maussan has been on the UFO front lines, traveling from sighting to sighting, meaning government officials to first-hand witnesses that speak of the OVNI. Maussan has made many such fleet videos known to the world, from his lectures and many TV specials devoted to the subject. Since the eclipse invasion of July 11th, 1991, Mexico has been one of the world's hot spots for UFO daylight activity. Which brings me back to the term UFO flap. I've often been asked when I bring up the term flap, what does that mean? The youngsters out there have never heard of this term. This is a term that's widely used in ufology in the 50s and 60s. We've had some flaps in the last 30, 40 years. Pennsylvania had one in 2008. 1973 was a flap year, of course. The Washington incident flap in Washington, D.C. of July 1952, that certainly was a flap. So what is a flap? So I typed in UFO flap on Google. Not much to find there. I did find UFO flaps, a context for scientific study by Bill Chalker. Definition of a UFO flap. One of the more frustrating aspects of the UFO phenomenon is its unpredictability. One of the mainstays of the scientific method is the repeatable experiment. In the case of an unpredictable and elusive phenomenon, this is rather hard to organize. Occasionally, UFO phenomenon occurs in specific localities for an extended period, hence July 1952 Washington, D.C. incident. These are referred to as localized flaps. One of the potentially powerful tools available to researchers is determining the validity of so-called UFO flap areas. Sometimes they are referred to as UFO windows. Either way, specific areas for some reason become the focus of UFO activity, either for limited, intense waves of sightings, or they maintain an enduring legacy of UFO activity. UFO haunted locations in Australia described in Bill Chalker's book include St. George, Queensland, and Kempsey, north-southwest. Numerous localities experience intense, short-lived waves such as Tyringham, Dunbarton, north-southwest during 1973, Litchfield, Ukaka, Victoria and Gisborne, New Zealand during 1977 and 1978, and Cressy, Tasmania in 1960. All local areas experiencing multiple UFO sightings, repeatedly multiple sightings. In a position statement in Ronald Story's Encyclopedia of UFOs, 1980, Bill Chalker indicated researchers documenting this elusive phenomenon have up until now relied largely on sporadic testimony of random witnesses. I suggest that it would be legitimate and sound scientific method for researchers to become the hunters, to go out and seek the phenomenon as it is occurring. The best way to do that is to determine the reality of UFO flaps. Well, I got to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I did that on my own with a couple of friends of mine as soon as Bob Lazar walked into Billy Goodman's studio and spilled the beans about Area 51. There was a flap going on at Area 51 for years, and it was happening right there in our own backyard here in Las Vegas. The flaps and their propensity for seeking out particular localities places in the hands of UFO researchers a potentially powerful weapon. Localized flaps that are ongoing can bring UFO research under the scrutiny of direct experimentation. Localized flaps that are ongoing can bring UFO research under the scrutiny of direct experimentation, which can provide us with the repeatable phenomenon that legitimate science accepts. Personal experience has shown that such research activity yields considerable data and is this sort of data that will thrust UFOs into the mainstream of scientific inquiry. So basically, in a nutshell, a UFO flap is many UFOs showing up at the same place night after night, week after week, on a regular routine schedule like a bus stop, and that's a flap. 1973 was a flap for the United States. They were seen all over the United States. 1952 July, again, Washington, D.C. 2 weeks in a row, multiple flying saucers seen flying over the White House. Now on a more somber note, Starchild skull researcher Lloyd Pye has passed away. I have just learned of the passing of a great man, Lord Pye, shown here with the Starchild skull. The author and paranormal researcher died December 9, 2013, at the age of 67 after a battle with cancer. He was best known for his extensive research and promotion of the Starchild skull, an abnormally shaped human-like skull that he believed was evidence of the hybridization of humans with an advanced extraterrestrial race. He was the author of several books, including the novels That Prosser Kid and Mismatch. Lloyd Pye will be sorely missed. And in fact, Lloyd Pye was known by my co-host for many, many years on the Cosmic Connection, Mufon Ron. Mufon Ron would tell me many times that he would have discussions with Lloyd Pye, and you've seen these glass skulls you've seen that they find around the world that are could no way be made by man of ancient days, antiquity, what have you, and yet they're found. I don't know if they have any way of dating them. I don't know how that works. I'm not knowledgeable of that. These skulls exist. They're very detailed. There's many of them. This skull that Lloyd Pye has found and had been promoting it throughout the UFO industry in the world, the Starchild skull. These photos, as you can see, not really close to human beings. Look at the eyes. Look at the shape of the head. So maybe we have an abnormality here of a human being, but he thought otherwise, and hopefully the research will go on for the Starchild skull. Now, in preparation for this show this morning, I was doing some research on the internet, and I found a pretty interesting broadcaster by the name of Kevin Smith, who did the Kevin Smith Show out of, I believe he was out of Arizona, I'm not sure. But I found out, well, first of all, I wanted to find who this guy was. I'd never heard of him. It said on his YouTube website that he'd been broadcasting for 11 years. Very professional, knows what he's talking about. And sadly to say, he passed away. But if you'd like to see somebody that I never heard of until this morning and found out too late, I sure would have liked to have conversations with this guy. It's the Kevin Smith Show, and you can see his programs on youtube.com/KSS Show. KSHOW. I'll repeat that again. youtube.com/KSSHOW. And that's the Kevin Smith Show. I'm sorry he passed away. I enjoyed his program. I watched an hour of his stuff this morning and wanted to find out who he was and try and maybe get in contact with him. And who knows, just hook up and meet and talk or whatever. But he passed away, and I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry for his family, and I'm sorry for our loss. A great guy. Check out his programs on YouTube. My buddy Jerry Pippin, not feeling too good, folks. JerryPippin.com. Jerry Pippin, a great broadcaster, has been doing the UFO broadcasting on the internet, all kinds of media throughout the internet for many, many years now. Jerry Pippin and I go back to 1989 at KVEG Radio. Jerry Pippin did a variety show here in Las Vegas, Nevada in the 60s, I believe the 70s, where he interviewed the likes of Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Jerry Lewis, the Rat Pack, all the greats on the Strip at the time in the heyday of Las Vegas. Jerry Pippin, my friend, we did some shows together on your site. Get well, my friend. You're a great broadcaster. You're a dear friend, and our prayers and wishes out there for you. Come on, get strong, and let's get back on the air. I talked to one of his compadres this morning. I had to contact somebody because I tried calling Jerry this morning, and the phone wouldn't answer. Found out where he was being taken care of. Called there, couldn't get in touch with them there, and then. After reading on the JerryPippin.com website that he had done an interview just last Monday with a couple of gentlemen, called one of those gentlemen. The gentleman called me back, and I relayed my best wishes to Jerry, and I'm sure he'll get that today. So our best wishes out there, Jerry. And for all of you out there, I want to thank you so much for tuning in to the Cosmic Connection here on YouTube.com. That's YouTube.com/TV UFO. We've been on here about 5 or 6 years. Started doing these programs again. Got to get back on the bicycle. And thank you so much for watching the programs. I'm very happy and pleased to see that 132 people have actually watched 51 minutes of the program that I put up. I didn't think that was possible. But we did hold your attention, and want to thank you for that. Also, the 15-minute one, that was the first one I put up. That was just a test to see if you guys were awake. Obviously, 352 some odd hits so far, thereabouts. So hope you like this program. I hope you like all the work that I've done in the programs that we're showing you. Got some big news coming up. Working on it right now. Stay tuned to the Cosmic Connection here on YouTube for that. Got some historic stuff. Like to thank George Filer for sending and doing all the work that he has in the UFO industry, and for his contributions to the UFO phenomenon. For you, me, ladies and gentlemen, the information that this man brings up and sends out free of charge. Send him a donation. Check out filersfiles.com. Look up George A. Filer III on YouTube. You can't on Google. You can't miss him. He's out there. A great individual, a good American, served the country, worked in a capsule for the nuclear weapons programs, and you can read all about it and see him talk, and he's had some sightings, and a really good guy. Boy, you know, the nicer people are, the rougher times you had, and sir, I know you've had some rough times in the last couple of years, and thanks for hanging in there. I'm sure it's been rough for you, and you're appreciated. Mr. Filer, you are definitely appreciated by the Cosmic Connection and myself, Cosmo. The National UFO Reporting Center.com. That would be my buddy, Peter Davenport. I've known him since almost day one. No, I knew him since day one of the Cosmic Connection TV show. He was my first guest. Peter Davenport, www.nuforc.org, I think. Somewhere in one of these reports I read a different URL. But type in Peter Davenport or National UFO Reporting Center on Google. You'll find them. Or go to the Cosmic Connection website. We got a link from them from there. I never give it out. Cosmic Connection's website. We got some Billy Goodman stuff on there and all kinds of things, all things Roswell and maybe some Area 51. I don't know. I haven't updated it in a while. But I did put a piece up there about the Kevin Smith show. You want to check us out. Let's see. My website for that is tvufo.tripod.com. I think it is. Send an email to the Cosmic Connection. Been receiving emails from you folks out there, from the YouTube watchers. ufoshow@outlook.com. Tell us what you think, what you like, what you don't like. Also tell your friends, your neighbors, your grandmother, your grandfather, your best girlfriend, your last girlfriend. Play it for your dog and cat when you're gone. I'm sure they'll enjoy my voice. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. Going to try and do these once a week. For the Cosmic Connection, I'm your host, Cosmo. It's February 1st, 2014. My money is on the Seattle Seahawks. Keep looking to the skies, America. You've been had.